Hi. Yeah, so I'm really pissed off now because I have to re-record this entire really long lesson all over again because last time I did it, I had my mic plugged into the headphone jack in my laptop, which is really irritating. So basically, it's just me lip singing the entire lesson. Anyway, okay, so I'm gonna build a bridge and get over it now, and then go through French verbs. So, this is a tutorial that's just going to quickly run through 5 main French verbs you need to know for your leaving cert. Obviously, you have the other 3, which are the subjunctive, the simple past, and the simple present, that you kind of need to have a vague idea of to be able to recognize it on the paper, and every once in a while maybe you write a sentence with it. But I'm not including them in this video because they're the kind of thing that you could get away with not knowing. You could actually go through your entire leaving cert paper and not have a freaking clue. But you're better off if you do anyway, even if it's just for the sake of impressing the examiner with 1 or 2 subjunctive sentences. But whatever, we'll discuss that later on. Right now I want to go through the present tense, le présent, the perfect past tense, le passé composé, the future, le futur, the continuous past, l'imparfait, and the conditional, la mode conditionnelle. So those 5 in really brief detail. Before we go through, I'm just going to quickly mention, I am not French. I probably do not have a legit French accent, but you know what, deal with it. Yes. So the present tense. And just like with all the other verbs, with all the other tenses we'll be dealing with, there are 2 types of verbs. There are the regular and the irregular verbs. So regular verbs just basically referring to those that all obey a particular rule. Kind of like one size fits all. If you know how to conjugate one, you can basically conjugate any that you are faced with. But then the irregular ones are just really random. They call irregular for a reason. There is no set rule. There is no way around it. You just kind of need to learn them. You just need to basically sit down, get your head around them and learn them. The good thing though, is as a general rule of thumb, all the irregular verbs tend to be verbs you would use over and over again. And even all through the tenses, there are the core irregular verbs that just stay irregular the whole way through. So basically at this stage, your leaving cert course, you'd be fairly familiar with them because you'd have written them over and over again. They're the kind of verbs you'd always use, like être and avoir. There's almost no sentence where you won't need to say I am or I have at least once. But whatever, we'll go back to that soon. So, regular present tense. You have your ER, your IR, and your RE. And those letters obviously referring to the last 2 letters of the verb, so that's how they're categorized. So ER verbs, their rule is that you remove the ER at the end of the verb, like to give, donner, you remove the ER, you left it done. And then you add the appropriate ending for the person in question. So if it's if it's I give, it's je donne, because the ending is E. So you have E, ES, E, E, ONS, EZ, ENT. So by that I mean je equals E, tu equals ES, il and elle equal E, nous equal ONS, vous equals EZ, and il and elle plural equal ENT, respectively, or, the same, whatever. So using to give again, you have je donne, tu donnes, yes, il donne, elle donne, E, nous donnons, ONS, vous donnez, EZ, il donne, elle donne, ENT, but as you know, it's silent when you're pronouncing it. So you never hear il donnent, unless it was someone who was really bad at French. That's it for ER. Then IR would be take off the IR and add your endings again, which are IS, IT, ISSONS, ISSEZ, ISSENT, ISSENT. So using the verb to finish, finir, you have je finis, IS, tu finis, IS again, il elle finit, IT, nous finissons, ISSEZ, vous finissez, nous finissons was ISSONS, vous finissez, ISSEZ, ils finissent, elles finissent, ISSENT. And RE verbs now, you take off the RE and you add your endings, which are SS, nothing, nothing, ONS, EZ, ENT. Yeah, that's it. So using vendre as my example, you have je vends, V-E-N-D-S, tu vends, V-E-N-D-S, il ne vend, V-E-N-D, there's no ending afterwards. Nous, ONS, vendons, V-Z, vendez, il and ENT, vend, fond, equally, or respectively. So if I'm saying that. That's really it. Now for regular verbs anyway. Irregular ones, like I said, there is no rule, there is nothing to do except to just learn them. But, like I also said, they're very, very simple, and you use them so much they just be second nature to you at this stage of your French career. So the really, really important ones and the most known ones would be être, aller, avoir, faire, pouvoir, devoir, vouloir, those sort of things. So like you'd obviously know very, very well at this stage, je suis, tu es, il est, elle est, nous sommes, vous êtes, ils sont, elles sont. So that's your être. And then maybe I might put up a list up on the blog of like the ones you might be a bit less familiar with. So that would be like the likes of pouvoir, which is to can or to be able to, which would be je peux, which is P-E-U-X, tu peux. Like another, just to mention now that reminded me, a little trick is that generally these seem to be je and tu are the same endings, il and el same endings, that goes without saying, and then your nous, vous, and il and el plural will almost always still retain that ONS, EZ, ENT format, as in the stem might be a bit funny looking, but then generally they still have that ONS, EZ. Like nous will always be ONS. There'll never be anything weird. Vous will always be EZ. Yeah, even il and el will always be ENT. There just might be something weird coming before it. So that's why you still have to just learn them. You can't really bluff your way through them and just say, that's irregular. I'm just going to try putting the verb and ENT and just hope for the best. But if you're really, really stuck, you could do that. Because you never know, you just might luck out. So anyway, maybe look at pouvoir as well. Pouvoir. Like I said, peut, tu peux, il peut, and elle peut are P-E-U-T. Nous pouvons, remember what I said, P-O-U-V-O-N-S. Vous pouvez, and ils poivent, elles poivent. Poivre is nothing weird, it's just the way I'm pronouncing it. It's P-O-I-V-E-N-T. So, see what I mean? The E-N-T is still there, it's just the stem that's weird, because it's silent to pronounce it poivre. So if you hear il poivre, just don't think it's a completely different verb. It's still the same. It's just because the pronunciation sounds separate. Kind of waffled on off a bit off course there. But that's really it for present tense altogether. So now we'll go on to passive composing.